Right, hello, hello, hello. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Uh, the new microphone is supposed to be here tomorrow. They were like, "Oh, you'll have it 5 to 7 days." They sent me a shipping notice at like day 6 or something. So we should be back up with a good microphone probably tomorrow. I'm sorry, probably Thursday, not tomorrow. So yeah, sound is good. It's still tinny though, right? Doesn't it still? Yeah, yeah, yep. Yeah, I believe Kipster messed this one up for good. So yeah, yeah. Anyway, oh, I forgot to change it. Yeah, so did I do it? No, I didn't do it yet. Okay, hold on. One sec. Mm, yeah, I've had like the busiest 7 days like ever. Let's see. Let's copy this. Let's do this. And there we go. All right. So, let's see. I have so many windows up right now. Yeah, it's been absolutely nuts the last like 5 days between. Let's see. Let's close that down. Between the lacrosse camp last week and I gotta say, 3 days of like 90-degree temperatures with like 70 to 80% humidity, I was like, why would anybody? I mean, why would anybody want to live in Louisiana? I'm like, this is like the word. I mean, I wasn't in Louisiana, but I'm like, if you asked me to describe what Louisiana weather was, it would absolutely be what what I went through last week. So yeah, not the most fun, right? I gotta say, I wasn't I wasn't thrilled. I didn't love it, right? And then we had tryouts this weekend. So last week was like just, we were scrambled with getting everything ready for the two different groups of tryouts. And it was like, so much stuff. And then yesterday I go to drop the boys to this. The boys changed schools. I told you that. And we were, what's it called? There's like, oh, we have like, our summer back to school learning camps. I was like, I like the idea of a learning camp because, the reason we changed schools is because was a lot of stuff there last year. All right, they're old school. And, switching schools, I was like, they can meet some friends. So it's like a writing and organization camp. Like, big dad points to this one, right? I send my kids to writing and organization summer camp at their school. But anyway, I get there and they're like, oh, Mr. Caprice, we need to talk to you. Your forms are all. I was like, what? They're like, the boys can stay, but I need you to get me this stuff this morning by noon. I'm like, oh my God. So, yeah. Have you ever tried to get, and this is funny, not funny, but like, have you ever tried to get forms in a hurry from your doctor? It takes an act of Congress, right? And when I mean Congress, I mean like an act of Congress with only two parties, so like nothing gets done. It was like impossible. So it was literally like back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. Yeah. By the time it got to be noon and I finally like got it done, I was like, "Is it happy hour yet? Can I start drinking?" Like, yeah. So I apologize for having to miss yesterday, but obviously, I had to do the family thing, get the school thing done, and it's actually. I'm kind of thankful that it happened now in summer camp because we thought we were done. Like we thought everything was golden, ready to go for like the first day of school. I can't even imagine the drama there would have been if this was like the first day of school. We thought we were done, but I was like, hold on one sec. Hold on. I said thank you. Okay. Sorry. Like, so I take the boys today. We stop at Wawa because they wanted sandwiches today. They didn't want like a home pack lunch, right? Home pack lunches are not cool. They're like, well, this kid had Subway. I'm like, I'm not getting Subway. I was like, we'll stop at Wawa. Get him one. Reese gets like a panini, so it's in like a flat box. So he puts it in the back sleeve of his book bag, right? I'm like, all right, that's like a laptop sleeve. Like, all right. He's like, is it gonna fall out? I'm like, it shouldn't. I mean, the box doesn't necessarily open easy, and it's in a laptop sleeve, so there's not really anywhere for the box to open to. I'm not home 5 minutes, and he's like, Dad, half my sandwich fell out. I was like, did you sit on it? Like, what did you do? I'm like, do you have enough to eat? Like these are the problems with Reese. So yeah, kids, it's like you love them, but at the same time, you're like, God, you drive me insane sometimes. I'm on the road with the kids. Yes, the road trip. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like my kids are getting too expensive for road trips. Like, I don't know. They eat everything not nailed down. It's like insane. Anyway, so today's kind of a cool day. Oh, look at this. Russia, look at this. The G7 is trying to condemn Russian attempts to weaponize its energy exports. Why? I mean, the G7 weaponized the dollar, so again, good for Russia, right? Seriously, I hate this stuff. This drives me absolutely insane. I'd have been fired up before this. It's like, you shouldn't do energy. Well, you shouldn't have done, a commodity exchange. It's your own fault. Like, get over it. Like, it's their resources. They can do whatever the heck they want. Like, I love this. I love when people tell other people what they can do and can't do with their own stuff, right? Like, get out of here, right? I mean, isn't this the whole, like the whole abortion thing, right? Don't tell me what I can do with my body, but yet the G7's going to be like, hey, this is what you can't do with your own natural gas. Like, they own it. It's their stuff, dude. Jeez. The entitlement just drives me insane. Sorry. Just, again, it's been a couple days since I was fired up by a stupid news release, but you guys know how it is. Hey, Mr. Mojo. Or Mr. Joe. So, yeah, there's my fired up. Ernest didn't even have to do it today. Normally, Ernest is the one that gets me triggered today. But, yeah, sometimes there's just stupid headlines, right? I mean, we talk about entitlements. Hey, you're not allowed to do that, So, yeah. Anyway, had a cash rate early this morning. Came in as exactly as expected. You're seeing the Aussie down right now. And again, is it, you could say, was it the dollar? Is it dollar that? Not really. I would say the dollar's kind of mixed. Obviously, some yen movement here, a little bit of dollar strength out there. But overall, I mean, if it's 8 moving 85, I think people wanted more. The market expected more out of it. And again, it was a decent raise. I mean, again, the 0.35 thing is kind of weird. Like going from 0.35 to 0.25. Everybody with OCD out in the world is like, what? Why is it not 0.25 or 0 or 50 or 75? What is this 3585? So it came in. 0.5 is considered a little bit lower than what we've seen lately with some of the other numbers from other people. So again, market's probably looking at this being like, I wonder if they're already starting to taper and back off on this one because, again, the threats of recession. So that could be a big deal. 10 a.m. today. Again, JOLTS is a very important number. The last time JOLTS, again, you can see that the JOLTS numbers, yeah, they're a little bit off. This is not like oil with the little spider monkey throwing darts at a dartboard. But for the most part, they tend not to do well with this target, right? And they're like hoping, yep. The thing about this one is last time the forecast was supposed to be 11.5, and it was higher, right? But it was also much, much higher, and they adjusted things even higher than before, right? That's not that much of a difference, right? They're supposed to be creating demand destruction, right? By raising interest rates, like we really need that demand destruction. And it was demand destruction in the job market, right? Because that's where they needed it. This doesn't really look like demand destruction, right? I mean, we have they said we have there's 5.5 million people looking for jobs, and there's 11 million job openings, right? So they said we need to get this destruction to, really kind of fix it, right? So, yeah, kind of an interesting scenario, right? So I think JOLTS will be a big thing today. This is going to see whether the Fed is working, whether the Fed is not working. So, again, it is not a Monday. It's kind of like a Monday for me, but I think this is a very important time. It is right around the reversal time for the day today. So, again, seeing where the dollar is driving in these opening kind of like hour and where it's moved from, the European Open today, I think, again, I think this can provide some movement. Again, if this thing comes in breaking above 11 million again, it's kind of like, where's the demand destruction, right? And what I mean by that is we're already seeing people really, really concerned about a recession. They said inflation is not going to stop until this thing goes down. This main kind of piece of this employment data goes down, right? If we're already going into kind of a recession now, but the job openings are still there, we're not actually seeing the harm yet. They're going to keep jacking interest rates. And housing's already turned. How bad could they make housing if this job number is high? So that's why this is important. So, you got to keep an eye on that one. And then obviously the unemployment change late tonight. Bullard speaking later on today, tonight as well. Tomorrow we got some CPI, and again we'll see what's going on with the Swiss. There'll be some movement in there, and then again we got some OPEC and JMC meetings. Okay. Now again, things like there's things like this, right? Right. The OPEC Plus trims the 2000 oil surplus forecast, right? Right. Did not discuss production policy, right? So again, they're kind of holding firm on that one. I think there's probably going to be some oil news this week. Again, oil's holding at 94. It's much farther down than where it was just weeks ago. Again, this is one of those things where OPEC's like, why are we going to you want us to increase demand, but then we now we're in a recession. It's collapsing, right? So it just kind of goes to show you that OPEC is not that their forecast should be trusted or be reliable or things like that, but there's a lot here. They kind of understand what they're talking about. I mean, they do have some forecasting methods that do work. I don't entirely trust all their data, but at the same time, their job is to provide stability. And like the last, we've had prices at 130 all the way down to 95. I mean, it's been insane. They're trying to get stability here, and most of the markets like the stability. So I think tomorrow, again, I think, getting some headlines from this OPEC JMC meeting, particularly because Russia is included in this as well, um, kind of important. Um, all right, so with that said, there's no major other things. This is all Australia. Rapid movements in yen. Again, they don't like the rapid movements in there. Again, they can keep condemning Russia. Russia does not care. I don't know. They've lost me on this one as well too. Like literally, you weaponize an international, the world's reserve currency. You weaponized it, and now you're pissed at them for doing energy. I believe that's called being a hypocrite. Just saying. Just saying. This one too. I think this is. We haven't heard the end of this one, right? China says Pelosi's Taiwan would undermine this. It absolutely would. Absolutely would. We'll see where that one goes. And that's it, right? So, all right, let's dive over into the charts. All right, so I'm going to start with the VIX today. So the VIX has been steadily creeping up. Last week it was like down, and right now we had a little bit of a gap up, and we're kind of sitting on the higher side. And again, where the VIX is not necessarily a supply and demand related tool, but it is kind of sitting back on kind of the higher side. So I mean, if we wanted to draw like a rectangle or something, kind of an area where we have seen sellers in the past, you'd put them right here, and we're kind of not quite there yet. But JOLTS is about the only thing today, right? The JOLTS data is about the only thing today that really could kind of set this off. And again, earnings have been, I wouldn't say catastrophic or anything, right? Excuse me. So at this point, I would say we're probably going to retrace the gap down from yesterday back into the 23 range, which overall should take things a little bit more positive. They're all a little bit negative right now. On the dollar front, dollar is pushed down, and again, we're coming back down to normal levels. These were that like kind of old Harry Potter trades, and look at this. Came back in, chop, 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 chop. We had a little bit of a gap up, right? This was that, the gap on the 29th. Pop up, and then just continue to push down. So the dollar is stabilizing. Again, if I continue this across, you can see it's bouncing right off the levels that we've marked. We can take that one out now. We can take this. That pop happened. We got a big there. Let's run this because again, this will help our currency pairs. I don't need this one now. We'll remove that. 50 is at nothing. 61.8 is something up there. So there's probably going to be something going on if we can get the dollar back up to right there, 106.52. So right now, I would say the dollar is probably in a bit more of a strength position. It does have some choppiness to go through, and again, not a whole lot really today. JOLTS maybe, because again, if that JOLTS data comes in heavy, that's every reason in the world the Fed has the ability to raise it again. Because again, we haven't seen inflation start, really to come down yet. And again, the demand destruction that they are looking for is not there yet. So I would say right now I'd be a bit more bullish right now. And again, as the U.S. trader comes online, we tend to see a little bit more of that dollar strength coming back in. Let's roll into the currency. So there you go. Bam. There's the interest rate. And I love this. This is where, and actually this is from last week. There's your short. Let's pull this off so we don't confuse anybody. Let's pull that alert off because there was the short from it. Let's pull this off. Boom, boom, boom. There's the reversal from that. We can pull this one, but I don't need this anymore. This we're going to pull across. Let's see. Do I want to continue this? Yeah, we can continue that up. There. Let's see. That's at 78. I can pull that. Pull these out of the back. That one's gone. That's good. All right. So with the new low to high, okay. Again, we got a level here that we burst through a few times. I'd say if we get, again, there's a base form right here. There's probably a short trade coming in this one, although there's a little bit of a base right here, so that may be a little bit more difficult. I'm kind of looking right here and saying, hey, listen, there's your 50%. We know it's backstopped by a little kind of a rally-based rally right here. So there is a piece right here, and it did touch and go. Again, 50% will kind of, trigger a lot of the computer traders out there. So I would say look for something somewhere around the 68, 60, really 68, 68. There you go. Right around that 68 level, it's a decent zone. I mean, again, it got front run on this one, dropped, came back, hit it, and then boom, exploded off of it kind of twice. So we know there are some buyers sitting in there. And it is backstop, and we've got plenty of room before the 61.8. So I'd say watch this one as this one comes down. It needs to move about another 66 pips. So it's not like a slam dunk like, hey, listen, set it, you're getting it today. Could we get it today? Yeah, potentially, but we have enough time for reversal? Maybe. I mean, that's quite a lot of pips. I mean, typically we would say, hey, listen, before the news. And it's not going to hit it before the news. But what it could do is that JOLTS data could come out. It could drive it down. And then we turn and kind of roll back up again. So, again, we had our first profit target down right here. So, really kind of break in from where we are. It's about a 30, 40. I mean, we've got to go about 45 pips. So, absolutely, JOLTS could send us there. And again, that JOLT data is coming out in about 10 minutes. So we'll see where that one goes. But if we get a big spike down, like a parabolic move down, this is a level that I could see a reversal in it. And again, it's already kind of trending there from the news from last night, right? From the news from last night. I didn't take it. I was actually in a game last night. I didn't get back till like midnight last night. I don't know if any of you guys got this one, but this was a pretty decent kind of drop. You're talking about 83 pips in about 2 hours off of expected data, and it's one of those things where people look at this like, I don't understand. You raise the cash rate, that strengthens the currency, but it went down. Yes, because everybody already assumed that was going to happen. So, again, on the Nadex front, that's one of those ones that is a little bit better to, it's that arena because using the optionality of it is kind of what you want to do. As far as the Nadex front, too, I'll just update you guys. I'm still waiting to hear back about when we're pulling the trigger on the start date. I believe Dan was out. I think he was on vacation last week. I totally forgot that he had said it, and I shot some messages across, and I was waiting for a response back. And I was like, man, what is he, ghosting me? This is like dating in high school, right? And then I realized, like, oh, wait a second, you know what? He may not even be in the office. So typically, you guys know how that goes. And like I said, I don't know the exact details of it. I don't know. He may be back, maybe not. I don't know. So we'll see. I'm sure I'll hear something this week, one way or the other, as he digs out of his email box. So, but I thought we were going to get it started, but again, maybe they want to start before the vacation thing. Who knows? So there's the update on that one. Melissa's back tomorrow, so things are returning somewhat back to normal. I got to pick her up tomorrow afternoon. Now that the tryouts are kind of done and we're not in scramble mode, I am meeting with my buddy this weekend to get all the stuff for the podcast. So the podcast is a go. He's like, I'll walk you through all of it. So the podcast is going to be a go. I got about 10 topics down already. Trying to set up some interviews as well, but I want to make sure we get it set up and do a dry run before I bring anybody in. So, and it's kind of like, and it's almost kind of like, it's like podcast, but like I can also like stream it for the interviews. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how that side of it works. But anyway, I got a buddy that's been doing podcasts for 3 years, so I'm supposed to meet with him this weekend to go ahead and get that started. But again, 68, look at that for reversal. Also yen, let's do some adjustments on this. We came back up out of the 78 now. Let's pull this profit target, bounced and hit. This is good. That's good. That's good. We're past all this stuff now, so we're good. There was the big drop. Boom. Harry Potter off that. Let's just clean all these off. And there was the reversal. All right, so let's take this and let's get a fib draw on this one, just so we can see if there's any hidden zones in there, and there is. Right? All right, so we're going to mark this off. I actually like that candle at the top there. And again, it's in another zone, but I really like the formation of it. How it popped in and then kind of descended, to kind of give us a little pickup. So I'm a fan of that zone. We'll bring this one across and drag it and talk about 95.40. I do like... This is kind of hard. I do like that candle right there, and I like that this keeps tagging it, and then I like that it kind of exploded, and it is wedged in between the 50 and 61.8. So there's probably going to be an area sitting there with sellers. And again, that's 93.27. Let's see where we are right now. We're not quite at the 78 of that last push, so we'll leave it there because I know there's a zone here. Look at this. There's nothing in this one. Nothing really substantial, really, until we get farther down. Yeah, I'm not really willing to go long this one yet. This one needs to go a little bit farther short before I find anything that I'm really into. But I would say this 23.6, if we do have a pullback this morning, there is a 23.6 level sitting there, right? A drop, a little pullback, right? Impulse correction, impulse. It is wedged right in here. So this is kind of a weird one. We're kind of setting this one up with 3 different short entries if we can pull either of those, and but not a whole lot of longs until we get really down to, actually, do I have this red for a reason? I do kind of have it red for a reason. I'll leave it. We're gonna turn this right there as far as profit targets go. All right, so if you want to get the numbers on that one, whoops, oh, move that one back. Right, oops. So 95.40, 93.27, and 91.63 are all kind of short targets for me at this point. All right. Euro dollar. All right, so let's clean euro dollar up. We came back up. We hit the 78.6. We pull that one off. Let's drag this. This Harry Potter got kind of jacked through. Let's see. Yeah, let's pull that now. Tagged it there. Don't need that one. Let's pull this. I can take that guy out. Yeah, you're short from here. 1, 2, 3, 4. That guy is out. 1, 2, 3. Same chop. Actually, this one was out too. So yeah, we weren't looking for a short on that one anyway. So actually, we can reset a lot of this. Let's pull this. Don't need this. As you can see, this was the bigger zone that we had, right? This was the bigger zone, and we were trying to refine it in there. Hit it here, went to profit target. Hit it here, went to profit target. Hit it here, went to profit target. Didn't technically hit, got front run. It did touch it here, went to full profit target again. The same zone again, hit it, actually got front run here, but went down. Again, hit it again, and we should, not be taking it. But again, it did end up basing through, just popping slightly through the top and then push down again. So it's been an area that we've been focusing on a lot. At this point, let's adjust it just slightly up. It looks like we are pulling from this level now. Yeah, that's the level we're pulling from. Take that off, that. Our 23 got tagged there. Let's drag this down. There. Look at that. The 50 just bisected that old zone. I like the 61.8 better. Whoops. Nope, I wanted the price tag. Let's go there. Change that. God, there's nothing in there. There's an old zone there, but it got sliced through, so I feel like that'll be just one of those. What are we going to have here? It's a decent level there. That 50 is disappointing, though. It did hiccup, but even on the 15. It's a wick behind the wall, but even at a 15, it's like, yeah, not as interested in that one. Our forecasting with fibs, we missed it by just a little tiny bit. That explosion was good. Let's see. From this area right now. There's 50, 61.8 right there. All right, so say right now, look for the dollar strength to continue to roll on this one. Looking at the candles in here, we're chunking through it. I mean, we hit it. The 23.6ers, anybody looking for the 23.6? I mean, it hit, they got faked out, and now are short. And again, with a session roll, I'd kind of be, you want to watch out for that one. We're going to see in a second whether there's a big spike down. I think really we don't look for anything until we get to 101.15. It's about 90 pips, so I don't even know if jolts can take it all the way that far. See what that jolts data came in as. Come on, I know that you have the data. We all know that you got the data. Oh, this one, great. The work on inflation is nowhere near. I love it. Nowhere near almost done. Isn't that like it works most of the time, all the time, or something like that? It works all the time, 75% of the time, right? Right. The work on inflation is nowhere near almost done. We are still resolute and complete united in achieving price stability. That's Daily says a long way to go on that task. Oh, that's an interesting. Yeah, yeah. Inflation numbers are far too high. We're nowhere near almost done. The Fed is off to a good start. Okay. Okay. Incoming data decide if we do downshift the rate hikes or continue at the current pace. Looking at jobs, CPI data to see if we can slow it down. So it looks like jobs. No, don't need the advertising. Okay, so that's actually not bad. It came down a little bit, right? I think that's the first one in. No, I guess occasionally they get it. So again, better than expected. They saw a little bit more there. So, that's. I wonder what she's going to say off of that one. You know, that's basically showing that hey, listen, the destruction is there. Now it's going to be. See, now the question is, now that they have it here where the jobs are starting to come down, and again, this is still over double the amount of people we have out there, so it's better. It shows that, oh God, it looks like it's working. But is it working because the Fed's raising interest rates or because everybody believes we're going into a recession, right? That's kind of, that's kind of, it's one or the other, right? Now it's up to CPI, right? Now it's up to CPI. If CPI comes down, then they're probably going to slow the rate hikes, right? If it stays the same and it's like it's starting to work, but again, that's at least the first positive sign. And it's only one data point, so but that's good, good, good stuff. Again, it was monstrous. Again, you see that big push, but it shows that it's starting to work. So that's good. But anyway, I'd say 101.15 or 101.16. It would be an area where there's a potential bounce in there. And again, it's wedged between the 50, 61, 8 is an area where base has a nice explosion off, came down, touched it, barely hit the zone, and boom, popped. So gotta like that one. Let's take this down. Look at that, we bounce off the. Is that 3, 4, 530? There you go, 530 reversal. Whoops, right there. Whoops, hold on. Why is my wave faster than me again? All right. Um, on this one, I would say I like how this area is finding stability. And what I'm looking for price wise on this one is if you look at kind of like where the range typically stays, 83 is kind of the lower end of it. So, we talk about the curve where buyers and sellers are coming in. You could say, well, wait, this is a downtrend. It's going to keep going. It is kind of in the lower range where things start to get heated up and it kind of messes up things. I'm not really. No, I don't really. Kind of like. I guess we can go a little bit lower on this one, right? Did we tag that number? Yeah, we did. Did we bounce off of it? Yeah, we didn't get a clean entry on it though. All right, let's pull that off. Let's pull the alert off. Let's see. Let me bring this all the way across. Hold on. Let's bring this across. So we know we're in racetrack territory without any true buyers. I don't know if I want to take long off that. Look at that. So we had it rally up, and we're basing sideways. I think I like this one better. I think we're gonna put something here and look for a reverse off this level. I like the pop. I think the pop is great. It would be a target first, but there's just doesn't look to me like there's enough strength in here, really to take the pop. Um, yeah, I think this is a better one. Like I said, it did spend some time here, but it also had an equally nice little pop out of it. I think right now, if you're short, I think again these are the two zones that we look for as far as targets go. Here, I'll bring this all the way across just to make it a little easier. Let's bring all this across. Whoops. Wow, did I get that right on? No. It was close. All right, let me bring these across. There you go. All right, so I would say right now, let's see this. Let me put this one right here just to make it a little bit better for you guys. All right, I would say still bearish. We still have the bearish focus. Again, we've been pushing through here, and again, this is pound strength coming back in, which I totally agree with. I think that's fine. But again, buyers have stepped in a few times down here, which again, every time it does, there's less and less buyers that are going to support this. I think our first big profit target, and we know we have a racetrack going lower, is going to be down here at 83.26 or 83.27. If you are short, I would say that that's probably been an area to be a little bit safe, pull some profit off. If you want to continue to push lower, again, understand there are buyers there at launch price. I think the second profit target is down here at 83.03. Okay. Reason I say that is because we do have a buying level just right below it at 83.01. It is a level, and when you look at it, again, we did have a base. It was a drop. Again, it was a level that was there before. It dropped, nice little base, strong push, came back down, kind of found where the buyers were, and then launched it even stronger, right? And that was a big push. That was 70. So um, that was a big push. I think that's the next level we really look to step in. Here's a news thing. I can take that line out. But it's this racetrack that we're dealing with right now. So this one would look something along the lines of this. Whoops, why the heck was that so big? Bring this down to 1 to 3. Right there. So, yeah, I would say 103.01, right? We look for a balance, and again, take that one for a bit of a ride. Not a huge risk. It's only about 8 pips. So I would say that that's a potential reversal level. All right. And again, this would probably coincide with some news. I would see this being somewhat of a news bounce, something from the ECB as far as raising rates go. Euro yen. So Euro yen, we're seeing the weakness here as well. And again, there's all kinds of reasons for this. So let's get this one cleaned up. Let's pull this. Again, the Harry Potter, you guys can see. I just turned it back on again, but you can see that we ended up getting the trigger back again. We'll leave it for one more. I just turned it back on, so we're good there. Let's pull that across. That one Harry Pottered. This one got front run. Wah, wah, wah. This one got sliced, but kind of Harry Pottered, which, again, nice zone that it went through on. This one also bounced and was chopping through it. So let's see. Let's throw some new fibs on this one. There. We're going to throw that on. 135.55. There. All right. All right. Let's see. Yeah, we know we got some buyers sitting down there. That's what we're chopping through. Let's take this back up. Let's go to 2 hour. That's what we're chopping through. So it looks like we finally went through the little zone. There we go. All right, so let's adjust this one. We've already hit it and kind of gone through it. Let's adjust this down to this next level. I'm on a 2 hour. Let's see if I can see this on 30. Actually, that's fine. It's fine. Okay, let's cross. All right, so that's what we're kind of looking for right now, target-wise. I would say this is probably a decent level, right? Yeah. I would say I'd like to see this hit, and I'd like to see a confirmation. So I wanted to get like official bounce off this one. So I want this one to come down, and then again, I'd like to see it fail to go lower. I wanted to see it come back up. I want to see it turn, and then again, we're going to see a red, green, red off this one, and then you pull the trigger when it goes through. Okay, so I'm looking for this pattern in this zone, and I think this one's pretty decent, right? If I had to throw what this one looks in here, right, 1 to 3 is sitting right there, and again, I like this because the 1 to 3 is back in the level basing, so decent spot, right? Not a bad spot at all. Okay, I'd say that's not bad. And again, if we roll up top, so 133.06, 135.55 on that one. I think both top and bottom are good setups on that one. Pound yen, again, I would expect this one to come down. Again, these were some targets. Actually, I'm shocked it actually did as much basing around here as it did, and then it pulled back and it used that. Look at that, came back and literally used that zone to go higher. So had that one marked off. Let's see here. Let's pull this all the way up. Um, Cancel. It's a 78. I'm not going to do anything with that one, but it's funny how it lined up that way. All right, so this is an interesting scenario here. So I do like the top. I will mark this one off up top. And again, this is an area where you should be looking to get some shorts in there. This one is populated up here, and that's 122.75. Again, base, drop, pulled back, hit it, and then boom, took off, and it kind of reversed the trend on us. Like that area, so I think that's a decent one. There is a bit of a racetrack right here, so I'm going to look at this one and say, hey, listen, we got an area here. We based, we hit it again. Ooh, look at that. We're about to hit it again. You know, it's a decent level. I would say this one is more of a short position, only because this was a straight up pop here. So let's see if we can sneak a 1 to 3 in. 1 to 3 is right there, which happens to be at the 50% and kind of right where you would want to get profit from it. So I would say that this is a decent little kind of Harry Potter continuation. I'd say that this one is a short of at 121.50. Looking for price to come down, and again, be cautious with this bottom side target on this one. Again, being at 50 percentile mark, you're going to see a lot of computers and things like that step in. So, no. Yeah, be cautious about that one. But again, decent little runner there. And again, I like the basing. It may hit it one more time and bounce, and I'm totally fine with that. Again, it's an if this, then that base trade. But a break of 121.50 or 121.51. Look for a little bit of a pullback. And then again, when we break below, take the 120.83. Pound yen. Let's adjust this through. We can pull this all the way down. 50's in no man's land, but look at this. When we draw the most recent high to low, and again, I could do it from up there. It doesn't really matter. It just came back up again. But when we do this, the 50's kind of in no man's land. It did bounce off of an area. There was it was an old zone right here. And again, this is another one of the scenarios where the 50 literally grabs and used one of our old zones that we talked about. We'll pull them off now. You can see that this one also bounced. This one also acted as a bottom. And again, we would have been short anyway. So right now, I would say I kind of the candle formation at the top I think is decent. So again, that I think is a good one. Let's mark that off there. Right top. 61.8 I think is also a level that is important. Right. Right there. Okay. This 23.6 level is interesting. There is a zone there, but it's a failure zone, right? We hit it, buyer stepped in. Buyers, bam, hit it again. Came back in and finally ground through them and then continued through. So it's not like it's a clean 23.6 area. Doesn't mean that it can't reverse off of that level. And again, maybe if the timing is right on there, but I don't like that one as much just because it hit it, it came down and then ground in, it ran out of energy, and then boom, finally pushed through. So as far as a pullback goes, will there still be sellers there? Obviously, the price went down. There's some, but I would say there's not a lot in there. So Yeah. Let's see. Where's this one going to load? And again, we hit the 160. We're basically at it right now. We drove below it, right? We talked about 160 really being our target. Um, this is where we get into a bunch of that chop, if you remember from last week. So I would say we had two levels here that we were kind of like, hey, if we can get down there, I think these are better, better things. Right there, 158.40. I would say that's probably where we're looking for it to come back down to again. I've got to bring it all across. Oops, hold on. I hate that when sometimes I go for the middle and I do it too fast. Right there. And again, we're stuck in this. We're stuck in here right now. I wonder if that's is that what we ran into? Yeah, that's what we're running through. So, yeah. So again, if we're doing like it's a session break time, I think there's probably some sellers up in here. I would say it's probably like a B-rated trade in there, maybe the 161.18. Again, looking for a pullback continuation to the downside. It's there, but it's not my favorite. But again, I think if for some chance we can get up to 163.65, or when we get back up to 166.00. Sorry, it's so close. Let me just make it. That I don't really have OCD, but then again, I do. 166, I think, is again another area. Love the top, love the base, love the push off of it. Dollar CAD. Dollar CAD, we were looking for a short. It didn't get up to our zone, but the short did happen. If I delete this, you can see that it came pretty much all the way up here, right? Right there. All right. A lot of basing in this one. Again, this was profit out. Do I want this one? Yeah, we'll pull this one up. Let's pull this down. Okay, we'll pull that off. Again, 1, 2, 3. Not surprised it went through. All right, we just tagged the 23.6 on this one. So, I don't love the bottom of this one, but I think it's probably a decent enough target. There you go. I'm going to say that's probably target. I'd like to see what it does there. I'd say right now, this one, I would say we're probably boxed in between this 129.37. Again, this has been a Harry Potter we've talked about before. Blew through here, tagged it again, tagged it again, tagged it again, and then kind of failed to get back up there. It is not the fresh. It has been hit a few times. But I would say that's probably my upside target right now. It's about 80 pips. I would say that although this data, the Jill data is kind of disappointing, right? Again, all we're hearing today is about the fresh China, and again, remember, China is linked with supply chain, right? You piss China off, inflation's going to get worse, okay? And again, this data good for inflation, this headline bad for inflation, okay? So, yeah. Oh, by the way, speaking of kind of pissing China off and then, again, making statements here, there was an article this weekend that I read that I guess they call them, I forget what the catchy, eye-catching phrases. I guess they are now identifying that there's a lot more. Basically, I guess they're putting Russian oil on tankers, meeting Chinese ships, and they're like it's like a black ops oil transfer. They're transferring, like they're basically both sending a ship out, meeting up, turning their lights off, transferring all the oil, and then leaving each other there with like transponders off. They're doing like black ops oil transfers, like under the table, not through the actual oil market. They've said that the frequency of it. I guess I don't know how they know it's happening, but they said the frequency is increasing. I was like, that's because he's giving it to him cheap. He's got a back end deal. Yeah, because you don't want his oil, so China's like, we'll take their oil. If they don't want it, we'll take it for cheap. So yeah. I'd say right now, guys, wait for this one to come back up. We're kind of in the middle of the range. I don't really love this zone. It was just very, very spiky. And again, I think dollar strength pours back in again, particularly with oil down here at 94. Dollar Swiss. So Dollar Swiss, again, we've talked about this zone, and you can see that we hit it here, we bounce, kind of bounce, and eventually broke through, but then kind of stabilized off of it, and then came back up and used it as a base to go higher. This one has just been a continued kind of downtrend on it. I think this one starts to reverse. Again, some of the data we have coming out of the Swiss this week, where is it? Right here. The CPI going down, showing that the inflation is already starting to kind of flip in the other direction, probably because of recession. Also is kind of one of those weak signs where you mean we're not going to be raising the Swiss in the future. So I would say there's probably some weakness. I'm kind of more bullish this one than anything else. I know that it's on a bearish trend, and you could say, is this going to be the bottom? I feel like for fundamental reasons, it kind of is. Again, the Swiss is one of those ones that been a little bit more different to play, but very spiky. I mean, you can see that every time it spikes, you take it again. Spike again, spike again. We're not quite there with the spike, but I do feel like with all the fight that I had to put up here, I do think this one's really starts to roll higher again. One of the areas, and again, driving it down, you can see the 50 is literally on the proximal side now of a zone that we had already drawn, and it's sitting all the way up here. So I would say right now, long side, and again, this should be this way, long side targets, 96.65, kind of what I'm looking for. And I think where we're going to have some hiccups in this one is obviously we're going to have a hiccup right here. Whoops, no, I don't want to do that. Not what I wanted to do. Trend line. I think we're going to have hiccups here. We have some ascending candles. I think there's a hiccup here. And again, box with the 23.6 could also lead this to turn and roll back down again. I think the way that this one came across, I think is another target. And I think really the front run on this one, I think are going to be the three areas. Again, three strong candles in a row, a single pop, a single base, three descending candles, strong push down. Again, if you want to get pretty aggressive on it, again, people getting stopped out with the 23.6 pullback. They short it here, going short, basically shorting the pullback, right? They get stopped out, then it goes where they want. So there is a couple reasons in here, but those are the three levels. If you're looking for them, again, you can mark them off: 95.80, 96.31, again, 96.55. Okay. Dollar yen. Okay, so dollar yen, we were talking about 130 being that magic number coming back down. We got close. It came down to 130.40 or 130.40-ish or 39.6. So it got really, really close. Again, continue to push to the downside. We've said maintain this one short. 139 was insane. We knew the Japanese government or the Bank of Japan was going to get involved with it, and it did. Not in a major way, but we're seeing it really kind of push all the way back down again in the 130 range. Now, interesting thing that we have with it here, and I'll draw some fibs on this one real quick. We'll just go from high to low. You can see at the 23.6 level, it happens to be right around 132.50, and that's why I wanted to point it out. Again, it is one of those psychological numbers, and if you look at that level, again, people that are playing the bearish position and price action in this one are going to be looking for a pullback, right? Well, that pullback just happens to have kind of a little area sitting right there, which also happens to coincide with the 23.6. So in this one, if we continue to rally up, again, we've had some decent movement today. We're seeing a little bit of strength in there, but I think 132.38 to 132 kind of 75-ish, really inside of this range, and really the 50 is sitting right there. I think it probably gets sucked into that zone. Yeah, maybe gets front run just a little bit, but right about there. I'd say there's probably a short trade in this one. Again, all it is people kind of continuing the trend to the downside. And again, maybe the dollar news today is going to be the catalyst for this one. But like I said, I feel like all your algo traders and people with paying for special indicators and stuff, I feel like this one will pop up. Again, psychological level, zone that's proven to us before, and 23.6. There's a lot of stuff there. And again, I think that's where it comes up and then dries back down to the 130 range. All right. Bitcoin, again, pulling back again. I think this one is at an area where it's about to become a very good short. Again, base. We've hit it 4 times. Now we're starting to grind through it. We know we got a racetrack. I think Bitcoin probably is due to come back down here into the 2139 range. Ethereum, kind of the same thing. It's already doing its chop, and it's actually on the other side of the Harry Potter at this point, though. Again, big spike up again. This one probably comes down to 1500. Again, dropping 78 points on that one. Doji, I think this one also, there was a racetrack. It looks almost identical. There was the base. It hit it, drove it deep, and then hit it again, and we have a racetrack on the other side. So it's a very, very simple setup on this one where, again, these are pushing back to the downside. So, sorry, crypto folks, but, unless there's a headline that, nobody expected, I would, look at this one to go lower. Commodities-wise, oil. We're kind of chopping there. We're up a little bit, 0.05. Again, with OPEC speaking tomorrow, I think this one is one of those ones that we're kind of preparing. We're trying to figure out what it does. I would say right now, I think the contagion about a global recession is, again, the United States can probably be a little bit more resilient with it. Like, this is a different kind of recession. Yeah, it is, but for the rest of the world, it's the normal kind of recession for them as we raise interest rates. And we're already seeing countries like Australia start to slow down, start to back off a little bit because of the harm that it is starting to do. And again, that's how they handle inflation. But yeah, so oil. Right now, with the chopping back and forth, again, you'll have people coming in and say, well, there's the most recent high, there's the most recent low, we're 23.6 short. I would say, yeah, I'm probably in agreement with it. I mean, there's a couple zones, and again, right at the 50, you can see that there was something going on right here at the 50, and I'd say that that's a pretty decent level. That's kind of what kind of sent us down. That was one of those kind of 530 reversal. Here's the European market. I mean, the European market started right here. So again, important one to kind of look at. Right there's the 3 o'clock window right there. So Europeans sent it down, and really since that time, since really from yesterday, we've been stuck in the same range, right? I mean, there's 10:30 yesterday morning. We're sitting here at 10:30. There's no movement, right? There's no trend. OPEC JMSE meeting, that's a big deal. So we're waiting for some headlines, and I don't expect OPEC to change too much. But I think right now, the global contagion is the bigger deal. Natural gas is having a big pushback. And again, this one, again, there's the 29th, and there's the 31st, right? 29, 31, there's the gap. There's the gap fill. And boom. All right. Now, we did talk about this being a level. I would say right now, is this the time to pull to pull along on it? I'd like to see it do a confirmation. I want to see this one pull away. I would like to see it pull up, right? I need this. I'd like to see it start to kind of rally back up again and then come back down and then pull the trigger when it starts to pass through, right? I like the zone. I think it's a decent zone. But right now, again, it's down 7%. That is well beyond what its curve is for the day. It's absolutely above an ATR, more than 1.5. So, is it a parabolic move? Not really, but it's a big move. It's the biggest thing on the board right now. We tend to see reversals off of those. I think we're probably due for a reversal, but I need to see the confirmation. This is an old bottom, and it's not the best bottom in the world. It's decent. It's okay. But I would like to see it somewhat of a confirmation off of whatever this new bottom is going to be. So maybe it's not here. Maybe it's here, right? Maybe that's where the zone is going to be, right? So I think we're close, but I think tomorrow, if this is a green number, I'm going to have absolutely zero surprise in it. And I would be kind of looking for this more to be up on that top side. Okay? Gold. So gold is continuing to rally up, and I think gold is justified to rally up right now. Jolt's kind of, didn't send it flying, but I think right now everyone is so worried. It's like, oh, maybe we need to slow interest rates down. That talking about slowing with the interest rate rises, I think people are, again, some of the pressures that are out there, obviously fundamental, are continuing to drive this higher. Right now, I'm actually thinking that this one is going to rally back up. And again, 1800 we know is a psychological level. How many bounces do we take off that? 1, yeah, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it blew through. Whoops. Right, and then use it as the bottom. Let's see. Again, we've cleared all this. That one has to stay. That one I don't need. 1, 2, 3. Nope, that one hit 4. That short's there. Let's pull this up now. Just want to see if there's any levels that pop up. Yeah, look at that. Look at the 50 right now. Again, I don't think that eventually holds, but again, is that going to be the 61.8 now? No. It's moved too much. That's an interesting level. I'm going to mark that one off either way. I kind of like how that base there, and then boom, exploded off of it. We're going to keep that right there. That could be a target for us first. Anyway, I would like to see what happens. And again, this is the last time we got back up in that 1800 range. So we know there's some drama happening right there. Right? We know we got some drama sitting right there. Right there. So right now, I think the Jolts data is supportive of this one going higher. I think if we come back up and we tag that 1800 level, look for a decent top. And again, we always like to see that kind of confirmation change. And again, what I mean by confirmation change, red candle, green candle, red candle, green candle can't go above the red top. So Yeah, I think this one continues to go up, and the point eight. I definitely agree with it, particularly because again, if we're starting to piss China off again, yeah, look to see how many goods are produced in China or initiated from China. Um, Again, not a country. You don't want to rely upon a country for all your imports, like and then piss that country off. Um, yeah, especially because that country is now like really, 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 really getting buddy buddy with India, and India's got a ton of people too. So yeah, have to say it. Definitely supportive of this. Yeah, but especially with that JOLTS number, it means maybe we'll pull back a little bit, which means inflation has the ability to grow more. Silver. Silver, you can see, is super chop, right? Super chop. We did get the rally back up again. And now we're kind of stuck in the same range. JOLTS number sent it down because, again, it's going to be a bit more reactive than gold is in numbers like that. I think this one rallies up. I really don't want to say that, again, there is this level of the 78.6 that we talked about before. I was like, I don't love that 78.6 level, but it's a decent level, and it was tested. It is confirmed right here. Make it bigger so you can see it. Right here, it is a confirmed level, and you're like, oh. Yeah. So with the chop on this one, I would say yes. Also, bearish thinking is a little bit in the red, and again, it is falling back and forth again. It is finding a little bit of a bottom, and buyers coming in at 20. So for right now, I would say I kind of feel like as well. Is it a time to pull the trigger? Nah, it's kind of right in the middle right now, right? But if this one grinds in the next day or two higher, I don't really think I'm interested in really taking many shorts in this one until at least 2073. So I think there's probably some opportunity, but it's not quite there yet, right? We're just literally, in my eyes, going sideways. And again, it's down 0.16. So it's not really, again, we're more range bound than anything else. If you wanted to draw a top and bottom on it there, we're even, if you're drawing a channel, we're even in this middle of the sideways channel. So not a whole lot in there that we're looking for. Let's look at the indices. So indices, we'll drop it down to a 15-minute. Let's see. Right now, here's your 915. I'm sorry, here's your 930 is, make these candles bigger. 930 is the red candle, okay? Is it in an area where you take anything? Yeah, there was probably a decent short in there. I would say that kind of this is the zone that you'd have been looking, saying, hey, listen, we got some basing right now. 8:30, it rallied up. 9, it started to rally up again, and then 9:15, it's starting to hold in that area. So I would say, yes, it was probably a short. Again, it did peek its head out, so futures traders would not have liked that one. Nadex traders would have been able to be fine on that one. Let's see if this one hit a 1 to 3, 2, and 3. Oof. 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 Actually, let me put it on this side so you guys can see how close that really did. Let's see where this one made it to. It made it to, oh wait, 1 and 3 is right. Well, there's 1, there's 3.04. So yes, it did make it. It did make it. So again, here, I'll drop it down to 5 so you guys can see it. There's all your level of basing. There's your confirmation. And again, it looks like the 930 was the top one on there. So again, futures traders, you had to put a little bit of extra kind of buffer on that one. But again, had you been taking this one with Nadex, we're looking to get a 1 to 3. You can see that it blew out the bottom side. So again, there's 1 for 1. I think this one actually ends up green today. I know it's red right now. It is 10:30. Like, oh, it's going to reverse and go down. Honestly, that JOLTS data tells us that the demand destruction is happening, which things are working. Again, we think that'd be bad overall, but that kind of gives the Fed a reason to say, hey, listen, maybe we don't need to stay on our current 75. Maybe we can drop it back to 50 right now and slow it down a little bit. That should be good for the overall indices, right? Hearing that we're not going to stay on the same pace. Once they start analyzing that one, I think we do have the potential to go higher on it. Overall, I mean, it did get supported by a level here where we saw buyers in the past. Let's see. This is kind of wearing me though. Let's see. Is that at a 50? No, it's a 61.8. Maybe we look to take some profit right here. Right? Maybe we look to take some profit right there because again, that's a 61.8. That's where the gap was, right? So, yeah. But overall, I kind of like this one. I know they're all in the red right now. Like, how could you make that? How could you say that? Again, the JOLTS data supports a Fed change. Again, they need CPIs the other side, but again, not raising those rates, I think is good, right? So again, on a 15-minute, had you been trading this with Nadex, again, you hit your 1 to 3 where you need to take yourself out of the trade. Looking at NQ. All right, let's check out NQ here. So the 930 candle is not really in a zone. Here's the green is the 930 candle, so I would say it's not really in a zone. The zone got hit like 845. I would say that, there's a decent base that we're looking for. I mean, I guess you could say, yeah, long. at 10, but 10's a little bit past the strategy. Wouldn't say that this one really kind of had it. Let's see, NQ wise, let's run fibs on this. So again, 1 for 2 really for opening trade setups. Yeah, you can see this one kind of came up and it did. Look, there's a zone sitting right there. Look at that. There's your base, which happens to be the 50 top to bottom. What time did that hit? 9:45. So yeah, I mean, this one was kind of. I would say this one is probably almost more of a new setup, but yeah, this one is. Had you been watching it, even futures traders probably were all over this one. There you go. There's your 1 to 3 short. So again, trade setup, not an opening print setup. The opening print setup drove it towards the zone. There's your 930. It drove it in and just barely missed it. And again, it was a 50% retracement. It needed a little bit more help. Let's see, what time did it hit? 9:45. Yeah, right at 9:45. Look at that. It hit. It's like, oh, boom, boom, and then race back again. So, yeah, nice little setup if you guys got that one. Obviously, we were broadcasting here, so we were not taking that one. So, again, not opening print, but it did drive it right into a zone. Nice reversal. And, again, you can see it here on the 15-minute. Whenever you see things like this, right, where you're like, oh, wait a second, there's a little bit crazy, a little gap action in there, right? And it happens to coincide with a 50. You got to be all over that. Now, if you were trading it purely off the 50% level, sorry, you did not get your entry in there. So that's why you need to kind of use fibs as a confirmation for these things. YM, what do we got here? Again, it likes that level. 8, 830, 9. Yeah, I mean, this one pulled up. It kind of looks the same. The price action from 845 up until the open was up. So you'd be looking for a level. Is that a 23.6 also? It is. And again, there's your basing level right there. There's your pull up. This was absolutely a short setup at the open. 1 to 3 is right there. So let me explain this one real quick. So again, had you taken your overnight fibs, right? You're looking for something close. You're looking for 23.6. People are like, yeah. It's driving up from really 845 on. So you're like saying, okay, great. Here's where our level of basing is, right? It hit it, came back and based it again, and then couldn't get to it. So what it does, it helps draw it a little bit better. And again, 23.6, we already know that people are looking to short. It goes right past into the level of basing. Again, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, little sawtooth effect. Right at the open, which the 930 candle is the red one. Again, opening print, blew it out of the bottom, came actually all the way down and tagged the target that we had talked about before in the past. So this was a big runner. This was a 1 to 6 if you were a futures trader. 1 to 3 is only right there. So, I mean, again, you got about half to move on that one. So 2 for 3, even though there was the setup that came 15 minutes later on the YM. And again, another one to full profit target. Russell. Ooh, look at the Russell chop. Yeah, Russell, you opened here. It already kind of started to move. It kind of went up, chopped all the way down, and kind of came back again, and then chopped, and now again it's going higher. And again, would not have been an opening print setup for me on this one. I mean, it's close, I guess. I don't know. Let me see here. Let's see. Yeah, look at that. Kind of the same thing, right? Here's the chop, and you're like, oh, are we getting short? There's the 50, right? There's that same like gap level right there. And again, touched it, went back down again. A little bit deep on the 50, but it's unfortunate because it came all the way back down. Did that do it first? Yeah, look, came all the way up, right at the 930 mark. It did hit the 50, so again, in this case, the 50 percenters would have got in the Russell all the way down, all the way back up again, all the way down. And again, look at this. This is a lot of chop. Oh, God, look at all that chop in them. These are horrible candles. So, yeah. Anyway, I would say, again, watch where we're at right now. With a 1030 being in here, there could potentially be a 1030 reversal coming in at this level right here. Again, it is a 61.8 pullback. A lot of algorithms like that. I would say on a technical basis, it's kind of saying reverse, but on a fundamental basis with something as big as Jolts right now, I would say it actually fundamentally, on fundamental level, it supports a long. On a technical level, it supports a short. So again, you kind of make the decision which one you want. Again, it is a gap. It is tested. It is a 61.8. It is, it's 1040 right now. So it's a little bit late. And again, it's been trying. The question is, are there any buyers left after it hit it once and then hit it once again and then hit it again? And now it's fighting again, Russell is the weakest. So the question is kind of like, if we are going to maintain that, then you know what? There's a short at this level. But for me, with the amount of choppiness in there, yeah, there's a lot of indecision in this one. Again, all the markets are red. I think they are justified to be a little bit more green today, so that's why I'd be really, really hesitant on this one and just say, hey, listen, take this one short, because I think the JOLTS news is big, and again, it's already pushed it a little bit deep. So, and you can see it's almost breaking now. So I would say look for this one. If I had my call on this, I'd say probably look for it to come all the way back here to what is it, 1894? And again, there's a zone there, right? There's a zone. I think it's a great target for longs today. I think we could potentially get up to there. So that's it for today. All right, let's go ahead and do the drawing. Let's pull this in. There we go. All right, we got in here. We got Ernest, we got Will, we got Deb, but no Sean today. No Sean today. No Sean. Yeah, I asked my kid. I gotta reach out, touch base with Sean. I was like, guys, what'd you do in Michigan for 2 weeks? They're like, yeah, we went to the beach like every day. Got a lot of Petoskey stones. And it's funny, nobody that's been to Michigan has any idea what a Petoskey stone is, but Sean would absolutely know what a Petoskey stone is. So that's what my kids did for the entire week. Anyway, today is for 50 pip chips because again I missed yesterday. And I know, Matt, I missed last week, so again, tomorrow, the next 3 days, we will go ahead and do 50s for the rest of the week, just to make up for last week. So with that said, let's close it down. I don't even know who won the last one. I'll check it afterwards. I feel like it was Debbie. Did Debbie win the last one? I feel like it was Debbie. That may be why Debbie has 3 in right now. But anyway, winner of today's drawing is Will. I don't think Will won the last one. Yeah, I don't think he won the last one, Will. Right? He had a 10% chance. Petoskey stones are super cool. Oh, Sean, you are here. So Sean's here, but he didn't get into the drawing. Yeah, so Sean is here. But see, yeah, Petoskey stones. See? Look at that. Sean didn't do the drawing, but yeah, Petoskey stones. He knows all about it. Yep. Leaderboard. Let's give Will his 25. There we go. All right. I couldn't remember. Yeah, oh, I can do that. Let me see. Let's see who won last time. It was Debbie. Yeah, it was Debbie. So, and then with you winning, that resets it anyway. So, all right. So, with that said, I'm out of here, guys. I think if you're going to trade New Zealand tonight, if you're going to look at New Zealand for this, employment change, 2 ways you can play it. Obviously, New Zealand dollar is a decent one, but you can also go over and trade New Zealand yen. I know 645 is kind of a weird time, right? You're not trading at Nadex because Nadex isn't through New Zealand. There's not enough volume for them, but you can trade it obviously in the spot realm, right? Again, at 645, there tends not to be as much volatility. The spreads will widen on you, so just watch out for that one. Look at your daily ATR during that time frame to help kind of add a little bit of a buffer to your position. But I think it's probably a decent position. Again, bloater speaking at the same time, so again, there may be some dollar movement. Money Marketeer's event. So he is talking about the economy and monetary policy, and he tends to be a little bit more bullish for the dollar. So again, could be a New Zealand. Again, he talks about going to recession, not going to recession. It's going to move the yen around. But typically for a release like this, New Zealand yen is what you want to play. All right. So with that said, I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Thanks for joining me for today. And again, I apologize for yesterday. I had to get all that stuff done with the boys and the doctor and school and stuff. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Take care.